Assalamualaikum guys. Hello everybody. So sorry I'm slightly late on my live. I was gonna do it at 3 o'clock, but unfortunately I had to go to hospital. But I'm all okay now. So my live start in slightly later, which is it's nearly 7 o'clock now. Um, but anyway, just wait for a few people to join, and then I'll start. So what I wanted to do today is review. Assalamu alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Baya tikazuni. তো আজকে চাইছি সকলতে দেখাইতাম আমি কিতা করি। সকলে তো জানো না আমি ইউটিউব করি। আসলে ইউটিউব ইজ নট মাই মেইন থিং। ইউটিউব আমি সাইড আমার একটা হবি হিসাবে করি ইউটিউব, but mainly I have got something else I do. Hello social ASMR, how are you doing? So what I want to do today is reveal what it is. So আমারে আরেকজনে ইউটিউব ইন্টারভিউ করছেন. He is a property millionaire. His name is Samuel Leeds. So if you want to see his channel, he's got over 200,000 subscribers. So he's interviewed me. So what I want to do is now show you that interview so you can actually see my interview and then see what I do. So আমি ইন্টারভিউ দেখাইমু, আপনারা সবাই দেখুন জানো। বেসিক্যালি ইন্টারভিউ আপনারা সকল জানবা আমি কিতা করি, what I do for a living, আমার কোন কাজ করি কিতা করি। So interview দেখবা, plus you can see it yourself. Samuel Leeds, his name is Samuel Leeds. He's a property investor. So I'm going to try and put that on now and see if got a job with myself, but declined it out of integrity. Okay. Open up your eyes, research, hustle, went to auctions, drove to Liverpool from London. You know, fair play, man, fair respect. And now I've accumulated using other people's money a large portfolio. Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to a Winners on a Wednesday episode where I'm going to be interviewing a serial entrepreneur who's become very successful. Yeah, so basically this is my interview with Samuel Leeds. So please watch it, then you can see what I do for a living. And in this interview he's going to be explaining and revealing exactly how he did that through strategies like joint ventures. You're going to learn a ton of information. So again, if you want to see yourselves, you can. His channel is called Samuel Leeds. Really good. So you literally came to the crash course a couple of years ago.
Yeah, it was June 2019.
June 2019, and you'll never forget the date.
I will never forget the date.
What happened?
So basically, I went up there. So it was a long day. It was 2 days.
Yeah.
So it was from 8 o'clock in the morning till I think it was 10 at night.
Right.
And tons and tons of information. So, you know, he was just taking in all of that information and kind of then afterwards processing it. But it was really enjoyable. I thought, before I went to the crash course, I thought, you know, it's going to be a really, really long day, you know, how am I going to manage? But actually, it went fairly quickly.
Yeah.
And I wanted kind of, you know, more.
Yeah.
Finishing at 10 o'clock.
And that's the thing, people do get worried. They're like, and they know with me, I can go on until any time. Like, it could go until midnight. But actually, the reason it goes on is not because it's a boring lecture, it's because we're doing deals, we're networking, we're on the phone. So, okay, so when you came to the crash course, you had one property, and you were working at B&Q.
I just left B&Q in June.
Oh, wow. So you left B&Q in faith, or what?
Yeah, in faith, in terms of, you know, it was a big risk, but I wanted to take that risk because I've been in retail. I was in retail for over 20 years.
Yeah.
Kind of, I just had enough. I wanted to do something different. And property, I was thinking about it for a couple of years before I actually went ahead with it. But it was a case of, you know, you've got lots of responsibility. How do I take that step, take that leap?
Yeah.
And I think when I started researching, I came across your videos, your YouTube channel, and kind of edged me on, really.
Hello, Silo Seats. I hope you're well. So today, big reveal is what do I do apart from doing the YouTube videos. So this shows what I do for a living. So please watch this. It's interesting for you guys, so you can understand what I'm doing.
So I think one of your YouTube videos you said, if you're interested in applying for a job, we're coming down to London, apply, blah, blah, blah. And so I said, you know what? This was after the crash course actually, because I just wanted to be around your team because I just found it so, you're full of enthusiasm, it's just, for me it was amazing. So I thought, you know what?
Samuel Leeds is a multi-millionaire, property multi-millionaire. He's also got a YouTube channel. He's got over 200,000 subscribers, so he's very big, but he's actually a multi-millionaire. He owns hundreds of properties in the UK, and he's the one who invited me to his house to do an interview with me because of what I've done over the last 2 years. So please watch this and you can see what I actually do apart from my YouTube.
Yeah, I respect that because you applied for the job kind of really, and we try and look out for this. I try and spot this, but sometimes you can't, and obviously Sarah missed it. But when people are applying for the job just because they want to be around me and the team and whatever, usually they'll be disappointed anyway, because unless you happen to be Darwin and you're with me filming, unless you're a videographer, you probably won't see me that often anyway. You'll be in an office somewhere, so but that's great. So you applied for a job, turned it down after being accepted, had one property, left B&Q in faith. Where did this fire come from? What age were you? Why did you suddenly just go, I don't want to work at B&Q anymore, I want to be a property investor? Like, what happened?
I'm actually 42 years old.
You look very good for 42. So you're like 40 at the time?
I was 40 at the time. So I mean, I have always, like I said, I've been in retail. I've always, for the last 20 years, been in management. And I've worked really hard. I've earned, a lot of money. But I missed a lot of my children growing up. So
Right.
I've got 3 daughters.
Congrats.
So in terms of them growing up, I've missed a lot of their growing up. So I didn't go to the school plays because I was focused on my career. I was focused on actually doing a great job and moving up to earn the big salary. But actually, there comes to a point where I think actually it's not it. I want more. I want more time, I want quality time. And that's how it's kind of started. And then my wife got pregnant again. And then I thought, no, I've got to leave now. But I don't want to do the same thing as I've done to my daughters.
Yeah.
To my baby. So.
So what you got now? You've got 3, 4?
I've got 4 now.
Oh, wow.
I've got a 3-year-old son now.
Congrats. Okay, so turned 40, bang, wife pregnant with a 4th, about to have a son, and you're just thinking, I don't want to be working this hard, miss my next kid's childhood.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you just think, forget it. I'm gonna quit my job, and I'm gonna, in faith, take the risk and hopefully succeed in property. Now, what you've achieved over the last 2 years has been remarkable. I mean, you've built up a property portfolio of 13 houses, which you own, your company owns. You also.
Thanks, Elizabeth. That was the big reveal. I think a lot of people think I just do YouTube, or I love food, which is why I do YouTube. But yeah, this is my real job. I actually invest in properties.
Over the years, I saved quite a bit of money.
Yeah.
Because obviously I was in a good job, I was getting a good salary,
Yeah.
obviously I was getting bonuses, etc. So I saved quite a bit of money. So when I first bought my first property,
And this was before the crash course.
this was before the crash course.
Yeah.
So I bought it with that, and then I went to the crash course, and then I'm thinking, you were giving out loads of information about, costings, etc., and then you talked about joint ventures, and I'm thinking, in my head, it's going round and round, thinking actually, because my money's going to run out.
Yeah.
There's going to be a certain point where it's going to run out.
Yeah.
And what am I going to do? How am I going to grow my portfolio? How am I going to grow my houses? How am I going to grow my business? And that's when it kind of started clicking. Joint venture partners. I can use other people's money. Leverage and all of that kind of stuff.
Thank you everyone for joining me. I appreciate your support. Please continue to watch you can see actually what is it that I'm doing and what I'm about. Thank you, Suma Pedati. Everyone, welcome to my channel.
Oh wow.
Please watch this interview Samuel Leeds done with myself,
That's cheap, bro.
and
Awesome. Right.
he invited me to his house for the interview. Very interesting. Please watch and share as well when you get a chance. Thank you.
And then you go into oh my goodness. I know. I got a lot of apartments.
I sold this now though.
How much you sell it for?
57.
Boom, shaka.
And I had it rented for a year and a half.
For about 450?
No, 475.
Okay. So you come on my turf, right? You come on my turf. You buy my houses. So all you use Londoners taking all our houses, right? All right. So you bought that really cheap at auction, but and then you sold it for how much?
57.
57. So you made a little bit of profit. Paid stamp duty and whatnot, but still made a little bit of profit. Second property that you bought, how much you have to put down?
So my second property was a refurb, and that was in Wolverhampton.
Again, dude, you're stealing my turf, but that's okay.
Fifth
Right.
Avenue in particular.
No way, mate. Okay, how much you pay for it?
So I paid 85,000 for it.
What, you still own it?
No, I sold that as.
How much you sell it for?
I sold it for 132.
And did you have to refurb it?
Yeah,
How much?
15,000 we spent.
So you made about how much profit?
We made about just over 30,000.
And did you use your money to do that?
No, that was joint venture.
Okay, cool. So the thing is though, these types of deals, right? You need a bit of money to save up 35 grand or 70 grand in your kind of job. Again, if you don't mind me asking, how much were you on your salary?
So my basic was 65.
Okay, so you're on a decent salary, but again, you've got to save half of your salary just to get enough to buy the cheapest flat every morsel for a year. So you're kind of thinking at the crash course, that's the slow way.
Yeah.
So then you start.
So that was my first one in Warsaw. Then
Yeah.
I come to the crash course.
Yeah.
And then you talk about joint ventures.
Right.
And then you talk about actually use up people's money,
Yeah.
leverage. There's loads of ways, take 50-50 profit, you keep your time, you use their money. And that's kind of then spiraled.
Yeah. So then you basically start using the same strategy. Clearly, even before the crash course, you knew how to do a good deal. You knew how to negotiate a good deal.
Yes, but I've got to say, I started watching your YouTubes probably from beginning of 2019.
Yeah.
So a lot of that knowledge side
Sure,
of things,
got you.
Yeah, came from a lot of your YouTube videos.
Got you. That's awesome, man. I appreciate you saying that because it makes me feel good. Because
I'm just saying it because you're in front of me.
Yeah.
It actually happened.
Yeah.
And my wife, I remember my wife, I was talking to her, she said, what are you doing? What are you watching? And at that point, I was obviously still working. What are you watching? I'm watching Samuel. Who's Samuel Darshid? He's a property mogul,
Yeah.
I'm watching him. I'm trying to get. I'm gonna write stuff down.
Yeah.
And yeah. So it was. Yeah.
So that's cool then, man. So start watching YouTube, learn about negotiating a good deal, save a little money, start doing property, come to the crash course. Was that like
And that was like a bomb.
Yes. Sometimes people say there's no point traveling to the crash course because all the content's online.
No, you can't. For me, having it live is even better.
Yeah.
Yeah, because what you did was during the crash course, you actually started phoning estate agents live and stuff, stuff like that, and you put us in groups and made us a little bit uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But you know what that does? That brings you out of the shell and makes you comfortable in a weird way.
Yes.
So kind of that does 100% help you.
On training, what area did I suggest that you go to?
Liverpool.
Right.
So, and this is God's honest truth.
Go on.
I have no aspect of going into Liverpool before I came to a crash course. Because I was thinking, because my brother lives in Birmingham, so I was looking at that area from a logistics point of view, because I was thinking actually if there's any issues, my brother could just help me out.
Right.
So that's predominantly why I started off in the Midlands. But then when you talked about Liverpool, I'm thinking, actually, let me do a bit of research. And then when I started researching, there's millions of pounds going into Liverpool, as an area.
Yeah.
Hello, very easy tasty recipe channel. Thank you for joining my channel. So today is the big reveal. So I'm revealing to everyone what I do for a living. So Samuel Leeds, who's a property in millionaire and property investor, he interviewed me on his YouTube channel. He's got over 200,000 subscribers and he's a millionaire. He interviewed me to see what I do. So please watch this so you can see, apart from YouTube, what else I do. Thank you for your support, everybody. Thank you for joining my channel, joining my live. Please keep watching.
Crazy prices.
Yeah.
Crazy, absolutely.
Talk to me about some of the figures.
So, for example, even when I started, so my first property I bought in Liverpool was for £51,250. Yeah?
Yeah.
On the same street, now, you can't get any houses cheaper than £75,000.
So the appreciation has been like 25%.
Just within the last 2 years.
Well, actually, that's more. That's like almost like 50% increase.
Well,
50 to 75
yeah.
over the last couple of years. So capital appreciation good.
And not only that, the rental increase as well. So the first property I bought in Croker Street, I remember that street. I was renting that for £425.
Yeah.
Now I'm getting £495.
Wow. So rents have gone up.
Yeah, rents have gone up.
It just shows that the media was so wrong when they were saying. But the thing is, the media were getting their information from estate agents, and estate agents were saying Liverpool's about to crash because they wanted homeowners to sell their houses before the crash because the estate agents wanted more stock because they didn't have enough stock for the investors that were desperate to buy houses. So all the agents are telling the media, oh, it's about to crash. So that what happens is everyone gets scared and wants to sell their houses. Meanwhile, actually, it's rising. Fake news! I'm saying this at the time, I'm saying fake news. Meanwhile, houses are going up. My students, the people like yourself, who, I have to give it to you, bro, like, left B&Q in faith, got a job with myself, but declined it out of integrity, opened up your eyes, researched, hustled, went to auctions, drove to Liverpool from London, fair play, man, fair respect. And now I've accumulated, using other people's money, a large portfolio. But what I want to say, really important, because people have seen now on YouTube, you're doing this in Liverpool. I interviewed Crept recently, famous UK rapper. He's killing it in Liverpool. Liverpool is not a magic area. Like, there's a lot of terrible areas of Liverpool that you do not want to touch with a barge pole. There are also parts of Liverpool that are terrible investment areas, or like it's you can make money pretty much anywhere, but you need to really work hard. You need to know your numbers. You need to know how to work out the ROI. You need to know how to risk assess. Talk to me a little bit about that.
So again, when I talk about earlier on, when I talk about knowledge, and that's where the knowledge bit comes in.
Yeah.
So if you want to go and invest in a particular area, you need to know what you're looking for. You need to know what you're researching. You need to know what's, like you said, there's within the area, there's good and bad postcodes. So which are the postcodes you're going to go into. So that's all of that. Again, you're not just going to learn it off it. You need to get knowledge. And that's where, kind of, even in your crash course, you gave a lot of that knowledge.
Yeah. So talk to me then. How do you calculate? What are the things that you look for when you view a house? What are some of the things you need to be really mindful of?
So in terms of financials, first of all, I go backwards. I work at the financials first. So return on investment.
Yeah.
Is it going to be worth my while buying this property? Because in particular Liverpool, what I do is I rent most of the properties. I don't resell them.
Right.
So I rent them out. So I look at return on investment. So I know you talk about 20% for you.
Yeah.
But I look at about 15%.
That's good. But then it also depends how conservative you are. So if you work out your numbers really conservatively and it's 15%, that's fine. So that's good though. What else do you look for? What do you look for in the actual house itself?
So for me, I look at where you can potentially add value as well. So a lot of my properties are 2-bedroom properties that can be turned into 3-bedroom.
How can they be turned into 3-bed?
Because there's that opportunity if you move, like for example, if you move the bathroom around.
Right.
So currently I've got quite a few 2-bedroom properties whereby the bathroom's upstairs, you've got 2 bedrooms upstairs, and there's potentially you can move the bathroom downstairs and make it a 3-bedroom property.
Got you.
So those are the kind of things, it all depends on what you want to do. There's opportunities for HMOs, for example. I've got a HMO in Liverpool, so there's opportunities for
How's your HMO going?
Very good. Very good. I've leased it to a company. They pay me a flat rate of like £1,100 a month.
Okay, good. Okay,
and they pay all the bills, etc.
Yeah. And how much you buy that for?
I bought that for 115,000.
So for 115, you're getting 1,100. Very good yields. All bills paid. So returns.
Don't worry about nothing.
That must be returning close to 20%.
That's 20%.
Yeah, that must
19%.
be 19%. Okay, good. So how then? So you came to the crash course. You learned how to find deals, area, stack a deal, everything. How did you manage to find joint venture partners?
So for me, it was kind of once I finished the crash course, once I then looked into the joint ventures, it's about one of the things you talked about in your crash course is actually talk to everyone about what you do.
Yes.
Tell everyone what you do, whether they invest or they don't take notice. Just tell them what you do, and that's how I started. I talked to everybody about what I'm doing. I opened up my Instagram page, and then kind of properties I was viewing, I was putting up, property that I owned, it was at that point, it was one property, going on to another one. So I was, literally talking to everyone. Facebook, on my personal, I was just saying.
All right. So people reach out to you, friends, family, colleagues, whoever, and they say, that sounds interesting. How can I get involved? What do you say?
And that's when I start talking about actually, what is it, I find out what they're needing, what they're requiring, and that's kind of how it started.
And then what? All right, I'm looking. Oh, that sounds really interesting. How can we do a deal? What are you proposing to the joint venture partner?
So my joint venture partners, in terms of the deals, it depends on what they're doing. So not every deal's the same.
Yes.
Yeah. So it depends on the person. It depends on how much money they're putting in, etc. So again, what do they want? Do they want a long-term investment? Do they want a short-term investment? So that's kind of, you then go into a little bit more detail in terms of what they're doing, what they want, what they want to do with the money.
Makes sense. And again, I say this at the crash course, a joint venture is a blank piece of paper.
Yeah.
It's not a one-size-fits-all, and you're right, you should listen to what they're looking to do, and then find a deal specifically to suit their needs, let them put the money in, split the profits, boom shaka.
And reinvest that profit.
Yes. If you were to start all over again from scratch, with no money, no job,
I hope everyone is enjoying this, guys. So this is a big reveal about what I actually do apart from YouTube on the side. What is it that I actually do for my day job? Any questions, guys, please feel free to ask. I'll be happy to answer the questions. Thank you for joining my live. Thank you for supporting me. I really appreciate it.
So you're starting all over again from scratch. You've got no money. You've got no nothing, but you've got your knowledge and everything like that. You just start with no money, but you've got your knowledge.
Okay.
What do you do?
I would then reach out to get joint venture partners.
Right, so basically exactly what you did there.
Yeah.
But you do it again.
I'll do it again.
And you can keep on doing it. So what would you say to somebody that said to you, I'd love to build a property empire and have a dozen houses or so like you've done, but I haven't got any money. Is it possible?
Absolutely it is.
Yeah.
Absolutely it is. And again, it's about how you're going to go and do it.
Yeah.
And again, I go back to the bit about you need to get that understanding and that knowledge. It is so important. It is so important because I know a lot of people that started in property and they've burnt themselves because they didn't really know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So absolutely it's possible, but you need the foundations, which is the knowledge bit.
What do you do deal sourcing?
I don't know.
Oh, dude.
I
Is
don't.
there a reason you should? Quick cash.
It is quick cash, but with the deals, I'm thinking actually, if it's a good deal, I'm in a position where I can do that deal myself.
But you can just borrow the money.
Yes.
That's true.
And I'm thinking, why am I going to then, if he's going to make me money, I just, and to be honest, I could do deal sourcing, because there's loads of deals that come through.
Yeah.
But I just do it myself. I don't, So, because I'm not thinking just short term, I'm thinking medium term as well.
Here's what I think, Tomruz. It depends on what the person's goal is.
Yes.
If your goal is to make $3,000 this month, then deal sourcing is great.
Yes.
If your goal is to build long-term wealth, like what you're doing, generational wealth for the kids, right? Then what you're doing is great. Apart from the kids, what's your strongest reason for doing this?
I think it was just
a different lifestyle. I mean, I was working 50 to 60 hours a week.
Yeah.
And, you know, during my days off, I was taking calls. During my holidays, I was going into my store to see how it's running.
Right.
And it wasn't a great life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It wasn't. And I'll be honest,
Yeah.
and looking back at what, you know, how I moved up in the ladder, I regret it in terms of I lost a lot of quality time with
Got you,
people.
man. It's funny because everybody aspires to progress. But when you're in a job, often the higher you get up, the more you progress, the more work you have to do. So everyone's aspiring to progress. They might be getting paid a little bit more. Like you were getting paid really well. For retail, like 60 grand or whatever, that's really, really good for a retail management job. But then you're working 60, 70 hours, you're taking over your life, you can't see your kids. You don't need to work that hard to make that much money. If you're going to work hard anyway, you may as well get rich.
Absolutely spot on.
Which is what you're doing right now. So what does your family think? Your wife, kids?
Yeah, so it's a strange one, you know, and I was thinking, you know, in terms of when I started off, I'll be honest, I didn't get full support from my other half.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. She was like, "You're earning this much money. Like, why do you want to? You know, what are you doing?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "You got to trust. You got to trust in me. You got to trust in what I'm doing. You got to trust me. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm doing this because of us. You know what I mean?" But then when I started doing it, especially, I think she saw a massive change in me once I came out of the crash course. And then I had full support from her.
Oh,
I think
good.
the initial bit was what you doing. You know?
Why was that then? Why do you reckon after the crash course, so it switched?
Because
you?
I probably went from 60-70% in terms of drive and like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, to 150%.
Interesting.
You know what I
Do you know what's really interesting about that as well? I find that often people's partners don't support them when they don't even fully believe it themselves.
Yeah.
So, and what happens when you come to some of the training, like the crash course or whatever, there's a switch in you. And it sounds like the crash course, even at the crash course, people are saying, "Oh, before I fully commit, I just need to get my wife on board." I'm like, no, you need to get fully on board. You need to want to do this. You need to burn the bridges so you can't go back. And when you do that, your wife or husband or whoever will respect your passion, your commitment, your dedication, and they'll have no choice but to jump on board. And that's what you did, right? You made a decision for yourself, and then she jumped on board.
Yeah, although I had a bit of a if in the beginning, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean, you take that on board. You take that on board.
That's the little voice.
You take
I
that
talked about this when we met. The little voice. Be careful. All the skeptical voices.
I think you believe in yourself.
Yeah.
And I think if you're really determined to make a difference, if you're really determined to do this, then just do it.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Yeah.
You know, but do it in the right way.
Yeah. Totally, man. What would you say has been the biggest change in your everyday life between now and 2 years ago? How's life different?
The biggest. Okay guys, so that was my big reveal. So apart from my YouTube that I do, which is on the side, I'm actually a property investor. I invest in properties. I make money from properties, and that's what I do. So আমি আসলে property investment করি। আমার গড়াইন ডাবল ডিজিট আছে গড়াইন ইউকে মাঝে and আমি investors রে আমার obviously I invest with people as well. So I just wanted to share what I do, because a lot of my YouTube family ask me what do I do, and I don't really tell them. So I thought today I'll do a big reveal, so hopefully everyone's now knows what I do for a living. I am actually a property investor. So if you live in the UK also and you want to know more about property and how to invest and how to get up to 20% return on investment on your investment, please feel free to message me. But also for my YouTube family, apart from my YouTube, this is what I do. Hopefully guys, you've enjoyed the channel, you've enjoyed seeing the big review, please subscribe to my channel, continue your support, like and share my content with your friends and family. Assalamu alaikum.